Hello there, everyone. Patricia Hayes here, and welcome to Coffee Time Career Chat, where we talk about all things career development and some networking and all of that. If you saw a little blip a second ago, it's because I was in the middle of doing introductions and the service just dropped. So we're trying again. Technical difficulties. But I am so excited. If this is your first time, welcome once again. This is where I talk about things that affect us as professionals in your up leveling of your career. So, not just your job search or hunting, like you can go virtually anywhere and get that. But we're talking about being strategic in how you move professionally, being strategic in how you move with your business, but doing it in an authentic way and in a way that supports your long term goals, right? So, that's what we're doing here. I am an executive advisor, empowerment coach, and strategist, and who helps people with their strategic planning and their organizations, but also the strategic planning around your own career and business, and making sure that you have the professional relationships in place that are authentic to you and sustainable for your long term growth and development. So, glad to be here. And on Wednesdays, we're back at it, talking specifically about networking issues and concerns that come up in your profession and your career. So today, it's funny, I moved some things around. We're going to talk about leveraging your network for collaborations and opportunities like that. I saw on a different platform where someone was putting that out there, about what level of networking is necessary before you even engage in collaborations. And I thought that was interesting. But when I checked my notes, I was like, this was already on my list of topics for this month. So I'm like, let's just jump in. And I want to specifically talk about what the opportunities, not just the opportunities there are with leveraging your network to engage in collaborations for whatever purpose, but digging a little deeper and talking about specifically about how to make that happen, how to do that. Because I know that there are some things that will scare some people off, right? They're like, I can't do that. I don't even like networking as it is. So why am I going to try and do it in order to partner up with people that I may or may not know? We're going to talk about that. Here's the thing. In order to get, there's a great, and I'm going to butcher it, but there's a great African proverb that talks about if you want to if you want to be good at something, whatever, that you can just, go along and here you can get it done. But if you want to go far, like you got to gather some people up. I'm going to find that because I know I did not do it justice, but it literally just came to me. But here's the point is, can you be successful doing certain things on your own? Sure. Absolutely. But here is the great thing is, if you have a team, if you partner up with someone, whatever it might be, you can really take the ceiling off of your opportunities and be able to go much further and to accomplish much more. And I say that not just for those folks who, because people will say, oh, well, that collaboration stuff only works with business folks, or excuse me, with entrepreneurs or someone on business or something like that, not as a 9 to 5 professional. And that is not true. Even as a 9 to 5 professional, whatever your career is, if you are able to identify opportunities to collaborate with other people, other companies, other organizations on behalf of your organization, your company, like that is a tremendous skill to have and extremely valuable, right? Um, or let's say you are involved in something in the community, but again, where you're representing your organization or company, and you're able to engage in activities that will bring people together to accomplish some common good. That's a whole other conversation, but that's a part of this as well. And it can, again, can be extremely valuable and a great learning experience and great exposure and visibility, all of those things. I've done all of those things. So whether working for an organization and saying, hey, have we talked about or have we considered working with this other organization or a specific group of people to accomplish one of our goals, right? And or out in the community. Definitely did it a lot in my community leadership roles and continue to do so today. Literally just spent the last couple of weeks working on some projects with some of my board service and coming up with ideas of people who might be able to partner up to accomplish one of our goals, right? So that's the thing, is we have goals, other people have goals. The question is there some value in meeting up and joining together to accomplish our goals together, right? In order to make sure that we both reach our goals. So how can you get there? How can you even get to that and know whether it's something that you want to do? The first thing I always say is, when we're talking about this how, is you have to know yourself. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you have to know what your limits are, right? What it is you are not willing to do or that you don't want to do, that you're not going to be engaged in. And you have to know yourself for what it is you have your dream goal, your dream, whatever that mountaintop thing is that you want to accomplish. What is that? You need to know both. You need to know the limits, because there comes a time. I literally just had a conversation with one of my collaborative partners. We were working on trying to work on some potential projects together. And I was like, there's just certain things I don't want to do anymore. I just, so how can we compensate? How can we build this relationship around that, or fill the need some other way, right? And that's not being selfish. When you get to a certain point in your career, in your business, in your organization, there are certain things you're like, I've been there, done that. Like, I cut my teeth doing that 10, 15, 20 years ago. I've moved on from that, right? And that's the perspective that I move from. I have moved on from certain things, so I'm more than willing to give someone else an opportunity to cut your teeth and learn for that. I don't need to do that. That's not adding to my personal development and growth long term by continue to do things that I was doing, 15 years ago. Okay? So that's the limits part. There also may be the limits of just skill set. Sometimes there are certain things we just don't have the skill set for, and we need to acknowledge that. It's not a bad thing to acknowledge it, because then you know exactly what it is you need to go out and get, right? That helps you to add to who do you need to connect with in order to bring that to fruition and to be able to plug in on that particular skill set that's that's not your strength, one that you're rusty on, whatever it might be. Okay. And then the flip of that is the potential, the upside. Because partnering with someone, this is one of the things that people don't understand. If you have long-term goals that are very high, somebody might say even lofty, the reality is you can probably get there. It's just a matter of time, right? How much time will it take for you to do that and get there alone without any additional support? As opposed to, can you get there faster by working with someone else who brings some other things, and then it lifts you to a higher level, gives you the visibility, the exposure, the experiences that you need. Because guess what? It's not just you that's going to benefit from that. It's also the partner, your collaborator. Okay. So that can help you get to that lofty goal, that next level experience faster by actually engaging and working with someone. Now, so what does that mean though? Like, people are like, yeah, but I don't know about being able to like just jump in there with folks. That's point number two. You got to know your people. You have to know your people. This is that part where I say it is so critical to stay updated with your network, right? It's not a matter of knowing everybody's business all the time. It's not humanly possible. However, if you stay connected with people by checking in with them quarterly, biannually, annually, whatever level of time it is, if you stay connected with them through other folks who you are interacting with more regularly right now, right? If you are sharing information, if you are attending events. People think networking is just about attending events. That is just like baseline. That is so baseline. I know that I have established my network in such a way that I could not go to an event and be just fine for a year and still be fine with my network. And someone may say, well, how do you do that? Because there's more than one way to connect with people. You don't have to just do it um, at big events or something. Like most of the time, that's just saying, hi, let's catch up and, have a phone call. Let's catch up and schedule coffee or lunch, right? Those are those things. By having a Zoom call, by sending a note. Okay. There are tons of ways to stay connected with your network. That is an ongoing process. That's not a one and done. That's not a, oh, I need this right now. Let me go fill things out. First of all, people don't like that. I know I personally don't like it. And if you reach out to me and we haven't talked in years or not even said hi, then, I'm going to be a little guarded about what it is because I'm going to very much feel like you're just coming to me because you want something, not because you're trying to maintain this relationship, right? Transactional versus relational. And can you get somewhere with some transactional stuff? Sure. I'm not going to say you can't, but it's one time, it's one off. Relational, you can go back to people over and over again because you've built a relationship with them. Those are the ones that are sustainable for the long haul, right? That's what I focus on building out. Your long-term relationships that you can flesh out and have a network that is deep, that is meaningful, and that will feed you other things that you don't even know that you need down the road. Okay. Once you get a strong network in place, it literally should feed off of itself and help you expand it. I've talked a number of times about, getting invited to be participating in boards or activities that I didn't even go after. I never even went after. And it's because the people in my network remembered who I was and said, I think Patricia would be good for this. And then called me and said, hey, I'm putting your name in, or I want to put your name in for this thing. How do you feel about that? Are you interested? Okay. You have to know your people. So that means staying in touch with them, keeping up with them on LinkedIn or whatever social media thing, right? And just doing light touches and remembering what their backgrounds were and getting caught up on it. That's the thing that I know I spend a lot of time, especially when I meet someone new, and we'll talk about that in a second, is I like to have a little bit of more of a conversation because sometimes it's the thing they did 10 years ago that catches the most interest for me. That's the stuff that sticks. I can find the stuff that they're doing right now, but that thing that they did 10 years ago, that's the thing, right? Because we take for granted our skill sets that have built up over time, and sometimes we forget the baseline. All right, and I'm jumping into my next point. So, before I go there, but know your people, know who's in your network, know what their some of their relationships are, right? All of those things are potentials for collaborative work. It's not even about you collaborating with that direct connection. If you have a conversation with them and tell them what you're looking for, what you're planning on, they will be the one to connect you with someone who could feed in. That's the beauty of having a strong relational network. Okay. The third point that I started getting into is digging deeper in your conversations. So this is for that part where someone will say, I don't know, because sometimes that means, doing something with people I don't really know well, whatever. And yes, that is true. But it depends. Number one, if you're setting clear boundaries about what it is you're looking for, what it is you want to do, and how you can work together. That becomes a part of the conversation. But before you even get to that part of the conversation, let's start with the initial conversation, which is really doing the catch up and doing a little deeper dive about where people are, what they're doing, and what their background is. Right? That's that part that I was just saying is the thing that catches my attention a lot is not even the, oh, someone did something fabulous, 6 months ago. Let's talk about what you did 6 years ago. What was that? Because this is the part that I'm thinking about right now, working on some different RFP projects and things like that, where you forget what you've done, literally. And so there are experiences, background pieces, all of that that can play into a potential, project right now, but it's some experience that you had 6 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. So we think, oh, I don't have experience in that. Yeah, you do. And if you don't, the person next to you that you're talking to may have it, right? This is why it's worth having these ongoing conversations, particularly with someone that's newer to you or that's been referred to you to potentially have a conversation with and about. I literally just a week ago, like I said, working on some different projects that are in the mix and coming in contact with someone that I hadn't talked to in a while. And we had a conversation about potentially collaborating on a project. And it has since, not worked out, but we had the conversation. I got caught up on some of the stuff that she's doing. She got caught up on some of the things that I'm doing. And so the next time an opportunity comes around where it might be a good fit, we, can reach out to each other. These are the things that happen. All right. And knowing and learning some expertise or some focus areas that I wasn't aware of before, and vice versa. Okay. So dig deeper in your conversation. Stop having these surface level conversations. Pardon me. This is why I say when you go to an event and people are so busy trying to, say that they collected, 15 business cards or whatever, I'm like, okay, that's nice, but what do you know about them? What did you learn? Because a lot of times you really didn't learn a lot. I always say you are better off having 5 in-depth conversations than 15 surface ones at an event. If you make that your goal, because you're going to dig deeper, you're going to learn a little bit more, and you can connect more with the folks who you really are, as opposed to trying to weed them out after the fact. Okay? That's a whole other thing. You want more about that? Talk to me and I will send you, we could talk about you getting the link to the networking program. Okay. That was number 3. Number 4, you have to be willing to take a leap. Take the leap, take a risk. This is a part of getting to the next level in your career, in your business. At some point, you got to come out of the arc of safety and you got to take the leap. And sometimes that leap is saying, okay, I am going to pursue working with this other person. Or, we're going to see if we can make this collaboration work. Or I'm going to pursue a partnership. All right. You have to be willing to take that leap. That means what does that include? That means trusting your network. Again, this is why it's important to stay up to date with your network. Um, trusting them, trusting that they'll send you the right people. Even if you still have to do some weeding, you have to do less weeding when it's coming from a trusted source. Of trusting your own gut about something, right? Do things fall through every once in a while? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean you don't do it, right? You learn from it and you push forward to the next thing. There are definitely, absolutely some partnerships, some collaborations that didn't go so well, and I'm like, I'm never doing that again, or I'm never working with that person again. And or there are some that I learned a lot from. So it is not even that, it could have been a good, of course, it's great to learn from good experiences, but also learning from not so good experiences and taking that information and moving it forward. Okay. So it doesn't mean I'm never going to partner up or collaborate with someone again. No, that is a death knell to your professional growth. Right. So just acknowledge partnering, being collaborative, that is a part of your long-term professional growth. It will help you get there faster, to achieve your goals, but you have to know yourself. You got to know your people. You have to be willing to have deeper conversations, and you have to be willing to take a leap. And that's it. I got. That's what I got for today. That's it. Okay. Let me know what you think. Happy to share some more, and curious to hear your thoughts on this. What do your collaborations or partnerships look like currently? What lessons have you been learning from them along the way? Very curious to hear that from you. If you need some help, some insight, you need a second brain on a project or some work you're doing, just hit me up in the DMs or email me, and let's schedule a conversation to have a chat and see, if we could partner up and collaborate on, getting your needs met. All right. Take care, everyone, and I will talk with you again soon. Bye bye.